Like it or not, we've got a 6-pack of Acolyte retro figures. I like these. I love retro figures anyway, but we're going to get finally a figure with these kind of, what do you call them? Like dress robes or something that we saw at the temple in the show. Which this is the only representation of that. We've got images of the characters then on the top of the box. Let's open one up. We'll start with OSHANSA. I'm pretty sure that's the same image we got on the TVC figure. She comes with a little pip droid, and I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong. And her blaster. There's really nothing on the back here. The figure itself has the whole vintage aesthetic here. There's a little droid. It looks like just a little tricorder, right? And her blaster. She doesn't have the holster for it like she did on the TVC. And the pocket for the droid doesn't work, obviously. There's Ocean. Next, we have May, the Assassin. And this is the same card back as the TVC figure. You can see we've got a vinyl cape and a couple of daggers. This is the first purple vinyl cape I think we've ever had, which is pretty nice. She's got decent detail on her, like vintage style detail for what we've got here. You can see her daggers. I think these are bigger than the vintage ones, which were tiny, tiny, tiny. The mask is not removable there. Next we have Jedi Master Saul, which was one of my favorite characters from the show. And I love that he's got the kind of dress robes on him. This is the only version that we've gotten with dress robes. The Black Series and TVC didn't have this at all. See, the hood actually works. The cape is like, it's more of a claw, like a gauzy. It's not the same as some of the others. Not as thick as like what we had on Mace Windu and that. But it works. You can see, you can kind of see through it there a little bit. You can kind of see that. It comes with this blue lightsaber. Doesn't look at all like the character, but that's okay. You know, we don't really expect that from these. It's got the right hair there and everything. I like this. I like that we got a version of Now we have my favorite character from the Acolyte, Jackie Law. Without a doubt, she was my favorite character in the whole show. I was actually sad when she died, because before she died, she had one of the coolest scenes in the whole show. If nothing else, go watch that episode where the Jedi take on the Stranger. That's worth watching in the Acolyte. You may not like any of the other stuff, but that whole episode was cool with the fights and everything. But I was sad to see her go, because I really like the character. And here we have a good action figure. We have not gotten a TVC version of her. We only have a Black Series. She has a green lightsaber. She has the thicker robes here. You can see the detail underneath. The hood kind of works. Not as good as the Soul does. But I like this. This is great to get a Jackie Law. Now we have Mother Anastasia. This is another figure. We haven't gotten this one in either Black Series or TVC. This is the only version of Mother Anastasia we've gotten. And she's a pretty cool figure. She doesn't have any accessories, but she has lots of detail on the hair there. She has the old-fashioned legs, like the Emperor or all that sort of stuff. I love that. Such a cool aesthetic from the vintage era. And I like having that. Lots of cool detail. Look at that hair. There's so much with that. It's pretty cool. Now, I know a lot of people didn't care for the character in the show, and I understand that, okay? But this is a cool-looking figure. I could see putting this, even if you didn't like the show, you can put this in the cantina. Oh, yeah, look at the robes even. This is great. Has just a great vintage look to it. I mean, you could almost make her an Emperor's advisor if you wanted, right? She'd fit right in there with like Simalu and all that. So there we go. That's Mother Anastasia. So our last figure is one that is coming in TVC, but it's not out yet. We do have it Black Series. That's YORD Fondar. He has the yellow lightsaber. That takes you back a little bit. And here we have the figure himself. He's got the thicker robe. He has the detail on those gauntlets, which, you know, there's a little extra paint detail in there, which is pretty nice. He has great hair. This is a character I didn't care for to begin with the show. I warmed up to him a little bit, but you know, it's good to get a figure of him. I'm glad we're getting a TVC. Like the show or not, it's still part of Star Wars, and there's still some cool looks to these. You can make up your own story if you wanted to, like we did back in the day, right? If you didn't like the show itself, make up your own, right? Play with your figures. So this is YORD Fondar. There's the whole set together. These are nice figures. Like I said, you may not like the show, but these are fun figures that you could add to your collection just for the fun of putting them in Star Wars. They still look very Star Wars-esque. I will note that May here, her cloak is a little bit longer than her legs, and so I actually push her legs forward, and she's balancing on the cloak. So I know we did that with some of our vintage figures, too. I'm happy with these. I like what they did with it. I know we're not going to see any more of these. I know we're barely going to see much Acolyte stuff in any of the lines in the future. But I'm glad we got what we got. They're still Star Wars figures, and even the worst Star Wars stuff could still give us cool toys.